Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to test out and play with these really interesting watercolors. They're all flat on sheets of paper basically, so they fit nice and small like a little book that I can carry around. I was really excited about this concept when I found out about these. They did send them to me so I can test them out and play with them, but yeah, it's the kind of format that I think will work really well for traveling and for having a little art kit behind the table at artist alleys, which I always like to have. So I was really looking forward to being able to test these out, see how they behave, see how the watercolor quality is, because that really is the last line, really. If the watercolors aren't good enough, then no matter how enjoyable it is as far as a setup or how easy they are to carry around, I'm never going to pick them up if they don't have good enough watercolors. So anyways, what these are actually are Viviva, I think is how they're pronounced. They're called Viviva Colorsheets, which seems aptly named since they're sheets of watercolors. And they just come in these little booklets like this with little sheets in between the colors to help separate them. And I have to say, when I first laid down some color on paper, I was really surprised at how saturated it was. I'm someone who prefers my watercolors to be more saturated because you can always desaturate colors. You can always bring it down. You can mix more water so that it becomes more pastel, and you can mix the complementary colors or many different options of colors into them so that they become less potent, but you can never make a color more saturated by mixing anything together. So I like being able to have the high end of saturation there and available, and then I can work downward. And these were really bright. Honestly, they were a lot more bright than I was expecting at first, so I was kind of going right in with colors. You can really see that in the skin where I just went with them and started painting, and they were a lot brighter than I was thinking. And I kind of like that. It was a fun effect to be able to play with something that was a lot more saturated like that, where I went in with the shadows in her skin and it was just this like bright purple. I don't know, I really liked how it ended up looking, but yes, in the future I will definitely pay a little bit more attention to the actual saturation that I've already mixed up, and then make sure that I do a little test run and then get it correct. I found that as I was working throughout this whole piece, it did easily sneak in there where it ended up really bright and really punchy right off the bat. But I think that really is just a thing about getting used to the paints that you're currently using. With each different brand and each different type of paint, you're going to get different types of results, and you just have to get used to exactly how to behave with certain colors, or how much water to mix, or when you need to mix in other colors to bring it down. So yeah, I think that's just me getting used to them kind of a thing. And another thing that I really enjoyed about these watercolors is I noticed that when I started painting them, I would see a little bit of like a streaky effect at the beginning. When you're getting like a wash going and trying to spread it out quickly, sometimes you'll see where it kind of sticks to the paper a little bit more and you haven't spread it out smooth enough yet. And with certain paints, they're very staining right off the bat, and once it's streaky like that, there's really no coming back from it. But I found that these paints were very forgiving. I was able to brush back over it quickly, and then it would lift back up and then settle back into a much more smooth, even wash. So I was really happy with that. I theorize that it might be because of the way that you lift it off of paper, and it needs to be able to lift and release, that it might be a little bit more prone to being able to be lifted and smoothed out. But I think it's really interesting sometimes when I work with things that are so different like this. It makes me realize how attached I am to certain ways of having things displayed, or the way that I think about things, and it just seems like something that I would never think twice about. So like for this, where it's sheets, it's literally pages that I have to turn to. I found that I was not thinking about color combinations nearly as much, and I had to remember, I had to think, okay, well, what should I mix this with? Oh yeah, there's blues over here. And with my normal watercolors, which are in a very nice large watercolor palette, I see all the colors at once. So I think when I'm working that way, I tend to think about different combinations of colors before I even put down the wash. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna mix this and this blue and it's gonna look great. And for this, it was like I was looking at one sheet and thinking about the 4 colors that were right there. And again, I think this is getting used to the colors that are on each sheet and just getting the lay of the land. But I did think it was kind of interesting how kind of stuck into one mind I got as I was working on this. I think really the only negative that I found is I ended up using quite a bit of the slate black color in this piece. And I noticed the areas that I was picking up color, it actually very quickly ran out of color. So it had less pigment than I thought it would. I think for a lot of other ones where they can get spread out thinner and aren't used to be mixed in a lot of different colors, they would last a lot longer. But with like the slate black color where I'm going to mix it into a lot of different things, it probably will run out a lot sooner than I'd like. And I also noticed that as I was trying to pick up more color from that slate black, little paper fibers were coming up from the palette and then ending up on my paper, which really isn't a big deal because when you're working in watercolors, after it's dry, you can brush that off. But I did notice that it was kind of interesting that it was kind of having that paper transfer effect. But I really loved the texture of the watercolors on this paper. I'm using a different paper than I'm normally using, actually, which I think is kind of counterproductive for testing things out. You should probably use the same kind of paper if you really want to test how the different paints work and behave. But I was using fluid paper today, and I just really loved the texture of the paper, and with these watercolors on top of this particular paper, there was just something really fine about it. It had this nice quality to it, and that's something that I really notice when I'm painting, and it's something that makes painting a lot more enjoyable is if that kind of texture look to it is nice. I can't say that it needs to be one way or the other because there's a lot of differences and different qualities about the texture that you can get from watercolor that I really love, whether it's on hot press or cold press or really textured paper, whatever the case is. It's a fun little thing that I like to pay attention to and notice and enjoy when it's happening, and it happens to be really pleasant. And I've got this painting available at my shop, so if you'd like to own a little original, there's a link in the description that'll take you over there. I also have prints and vinyl stickers and lots of other art stuff over there. I also have a link to my Patreon, which is an incredible way to help support me and this channel and the artwork that I do, and I really do appreciate all of my patrons over on Patreon. You guys are amazing. But I also have a link to all the tools that I used and these paints specifically that I used to create this painting, so that is all listed down below. But that is it for today. We'll be back on Saturday with another video, so I'll see you guys then.